Greetings fellow spoonies and welcome to Chronic Illness. Today I want to talk about a strategy I call saving microspoons. Most of you will have heard the term spoonie, which refers to anyone who has a chronic illness that causes significant impairment to daily life. This could be physical illness, mental illness, chronic pain. For those who aren't familiar with the idea, I'll put a link in the description for the original post that explains the spoon theory in detail. But basically, a spoon is a unit of energy. It isn't an exact measurement, but a concept that can help explain our limitations to healthy people and that can help us with pacing or managing our energy wisely. A healthy person might have 100 spoons worth of energy during a given day, whereas a chronically ill person may have only 20. It varies from day to day and from person to person. Some days you might have 30 spoons, some days only 5. I recommend using the spoon theory to get an idea of your individual energy expenditure for various tasks. So maybe grab a pen and paper and jot down how many spoons you think you typically need for your everyday tasks. I'll give you some examples for myself, but yours might be a little different. For me, getting out of bed takes 1 to 2 spoons. Getting dressed takes about 1 spoon if it's simple clothing, 2 or 3 if it's a more complex outfit. Washing up the dishes at the sink takes at least 3 spoons. Attending a science lecture takes at least 4 spoons. Driving a short distance takes 1 or 2 spoons. Driving for an hour might take 4 spoons. Having a shower might be 2 to 3 spoons. Cooking dinner, 2 to 4 spoons, depending on how complicated it is. You get the idea. Now we can start to think about the idea of microspoons. A microspoon is a term I made up to describe a very tiny unit of energy, much smaller than a whole spoon or a whole task. For example, the energy it takes for you to lift a cup to your mouth to drink. Just that motion alone. The energy it takes to cut your food up with a knife and fork and lift the fork to your mouth. The energy it takes to pick up a single object from the floor. The energy it takes for you to hold a book up as you're reading it. The sorts of things that healthy people don't even have to think about, basically. These individual actions might not take much energy on their own, but they can add up to the equivalent of a spoon or 2 over time, and that's energy you can redirect to more beneficial things. This means you've got more energy to do enjoyable things, which increases your quality of life, or more productive things to help you get through all the important tasks in your day. Or you can just not use up that extra energy, in which case it will go towards rest and healing for your body, which can help lessen the severity of your illness over time. Saving microspoons is one of my most powerful pacing techniques. It involves always taking the lower energy option and reducing the physical or mental exertion required for a task whenever you possibly can. Another way to explain the concept of saving microspoons is that you're reducing your incidental exercise. Incidental exercise is movement that happens outside of deliberate exercise, like planned workouts. It's the movement you happen to get in when you're doing everyday tasks like household chores or even just walking from the bedroom to the kitchen. In saving microspoons, you're reducing that activity. This technique is especially useful when you've pushed your body too hard and you're in a crash or a symptom flare. This is a time for aggressive rest, and saving microspoons will help your body recover back to baseline. Saving microspoons is also important in situations where you're not able to reduce full spoons. In this country, in most countries honestly, it's hard, if not impossible, for people with CFS to access support services or disability payments. This means that many sufferers are forced to work to pay the bills, even when they're really not well enough to do so. Same goes for many parents or carers with chronic illnesses. You can't just not look after your kids. You have to take them to school, make dinner, wash the clothes, even when you don't have the energy. You may not be able to reduce whole spoons by cutting out these tasks entirely, but you might be able to reduce your overall spoon expenditure by shaving off microspoons of energy from the tasks that have to get done throughout your day. You may not notice a difference on the day, but over the weeks and months, doing these things consistently can save you a lot of energy and contribute to a reduction in the severity of your daily symptoms. It's worth saving microspoons even if you feel well enough not to at the time. So you might feel well enough to shower standing up instead of using a shower chair one day, but it's usually better if you don't. You might feel well enough to take the stairs instead of the lift one day, but again, it's usually better if you don't. This is because taking the lower energy option gives you more energy to play with down the line. It gives you more flexibility about where you want to spend your energy, so you have a bit more agency in your daily life. Most people with ME/CFS need to reduce their daily exertion, but what if you're looking to increase your activity levels? Perhaps your illness is mild, or you're pacing well and you want to increase your incidental exercise to build a little fitness, maybe lose weight, something like that. In that case, you're free to disregard this video, but I'd still recommend saving microspoons whenever possible, because then you can direct that energy to more targeted physical activity. This allows you to be a lot more strategic about the sort of physical activity you're doing. You can choose to do an activity you enjoy more, or an exercise where you can tightly control the intensity and duration. For example, if you save microspoons while showering, you could use that energy to instead go for a gentle, timed walk with a friend, so you're controlling the exertion that you're doing. Or you might shave off microspoons when cooking meals, so that you can instead do a gentle workout using a heart rate monitor to make sure you don't go too hard. This is a much safer and more controlled way of using your energy, rather than the uncontrolled, unmeasured use you'd get with incidental activity. So you don't have to save microspoons in order to reduce your overall energy expenditure if you don't want. You may prefer to use the same amount of energy throughout your day, but channel it more strategically so you can make progress toward long-term goals. Whether you're looking to do more movement or less, saving microspoons can help you toward your goal. So how do we do it? Here are some of the hacks I use to save microspoons throughout my day. Let's start with bathing. Using a shower chair is a good idea because standing takes more effort than sitting. When washing your hair, use a combined shampoo and conditioner. We all know that washing your hair can be difficult with a chronic illness. Holding your arms up is hard work, so why do it twice? Using a combined product cuts down showering time and the time spent with your arms above your head. The one I like is Organic Care, which I get from Woolworths. It's really affordable, cleans my hair nicely, and isn't tested on animals. These sorts of products are usually marketed towards children, but don't let that put you off. They work just fine on adults' hair. Speaking of shampoo and conditioner, mixing some water into the bottle will make the product runnier and therefore easier to distribute through your hair. That way you don't have to have your arms up for as long because you don't have to work the product in so much. Another one, get yourself a nice fluffy bathrobe, and when you get out of the bath or shower, don't bother toweling yourself off. Just put the robe on, then flop down on the bed or couch to rest. The robe will suck up all the water for you and you can get dressed when you're all dry. Sit down whenever possible. Use a chair when preparing dinner, washing the dishes, basically any time you can. A chair that's on rollers will allow you to move around the room a bit, say when you're preparing a meal. Use a straw when you drink. It's important to stay hydrated throughout the day, especially for people like us who are not in full health. But the motion of lifting a glass to your mouth can cost a lot of energy if you're doing it dozens of times a day. Maybe hundreds? I don't know. So I suggest using a straw or a bottle that has a straw within it, something like this. So it's got a straw inside it. So all I need to do is drink like that. Did I drink that weird? I don't know. You don't have to lift the bottle like that, which takes more energy. Same with a glass of water. So this is my big one that I use through the day, and having a straw means I don't have to lift it as high. If you're reclining, if you're typically sort of laying down or reclining, a bendy straw is even better. It used to be I would use glasses and my carer would have to get water for me because I couldn't get up every time. And I would just go through it so quickly. He was forever refilling that glass, and it was a heavy glass too. So when I switched to like the lightweight plastic tumbler that's holds more water and used a straw, it just works way better. Avoid bending down to pick things up. If you've got a carer or housemate who can do that for you, get them to do it. Otherwise, think of getting yourself the claw. This is my claw. Use it to grab stuff. Very, very handy. This little tool stops you from having to bend down too far, which saves your leg and back muscles, and also helps if you have POTS or orthostatic issues, any condition that causes you dizziness if you stand up too quickly. I find it particularly good for picking up dirty clothes from the floor and putting them in the wash basket. If you're a parent and you are forever picking up clothes and toys that your kids have left on the floor, the claw is your friend. It also has other fun uses, like pinching your partner's butt as they walk past. Use any gadgets you can find that make things easier for you. Things like electric can openers, jar openers, kitchen gadgets. They're generally marketed towards older people, but young spoonies can benefit from them too. Consider a book holder to save your arms and neck. Instead of having to hold a book up, you can sit it on a table or even just rest it on your lap if you're reclining. I got this one pretty cheap from Amazon, I'll link it below. It's adjustable and I love that it can hold books of all sizes, from small novels to big heavy textbooks. Attaching a pop socket to your phone means that you don't need to squeeze your hand to grip your phone, because yes, just the tiny amount of energy that it takes to squeeze your hand to hold a phone can have an impact on those with severe illness. But with the pop socket, your phone can just nestle lightly between your fingers. You don't have to hold it. Many spoonies have poor grip strength and bad joints, so are prone to dropping things. So the pop socket will help prevent you dropping your phone and damaging it, as I would frequently do before I got a pop socket. Use remote controlled lights or smart bulbs that you can adjust from your phone. This saves you having to get up or reach over to switch lights on or off. If you've got the money, you can link modern appliances up to your phone using apps, but if, like me, you don't have the money to upgrade your large devices, small light bulbs and smart switches are a more budget-friendly option. Keep things in easy reach of whichever place you spend most of your time. Could be a bed, a recliner, a desk or workspace. Make sure everything is within reach to minimize arm and torso movement and to avoid getting up if at all possible. Using a little basket or caddy can help organize your stuff. See my previous video on optimizing your environment for more detail. Use an electric toothbrush instead of a regular toothbrush. It's a bit heavier, but I find it more than makes up for that because you don't have to move your arm back and forth to brush. Man, I slept on that one for way too long. I should have bought one earlier. I find it cleans my teeth better too. Just it's easier to get right around the back and the backs of your teeth, which is good because I don't always have the energy to clean them as much as, you're supposed to. But my dentist said my teeth are in good shape, so must be working. Consider switching your heavy objects to lightweight ones. Think about the objects you lift every day. Things like cutlery, plates and bowls, clothes basket, handbag, that sort of thing. Switching to something lighter than your current ones could help you save energy. That said, sometimes a heavier object is good because it's more stable and you're less likely to knock it over. The point is, try to find utensils and things that are a good size and weight for you. Consider switching your clothes and shoes to simpler, easier to use items. Go for shoes with zips or Velcro over those with laces that have to be tied. Go for simpler clothes that don't have a lot of buttons and clasps, as they're more work to put on and take off. Now this one saves whole spoons, not microspoons, but I thought I'd mention it. Yeah, I'm not really sure if this belongs in the video, but I'm going to include it here and then I will do some more videos down the track on diet and eating. So here's the hack. Consider eating 2 larger meals a day instead of 3 normal size meals. Eating this way means you only have to plan and cook 14 meals a week instead of 21. That's 7 less meals you have to make per week. It's a big saving of physical and mental energy. I realise this strategy might not work for everyone, like those who have kids to look after or an early start for work. And some people may still prefer to graze on many smaller meals throughout the day, so just do whatever works best for your body. The point is, you don't have to eat 3 meals a day just because other people do. I will just add, I do have snacks in between, like I don't go long stretches without eating because I'll crash if my blood sugar gets too low or I just don't have enough food in my system. So yeah, don't feel like you have to only eat those 2 meals a day and you can't eat outside of that, no. That's all I've got for you today. If you know anyone who could benefit from these tips, please share this video with them. And if you've got any tips of your own for saving microspoons, please let me know down in the comments. I'm always on the lookout for more ways I can save energy, and I'm sure a lot of the people watching will find them helpful. Well, I've saved enough microspoons that I can go for a walk today. Just a little one, not far after filming, but yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'll see you later. Bye. just fun, you know? I can grab anything. Ooh. I need more lip balm. Ugh. Don't have to get up. I'm feeling chilly. Get my jacket. Saving microspoons there. And I will do the words. The energy it takes to cut up your food with a knife and fork and lift the fork to your mouth. Damn it. See you in the next video. Bye. Finger guns. Oh, I'm sorry I did that. I don't know why I did that. Are finger guns ever cool? Are they always lame? Who can pull them off? These are the questions that plague us.
Fly.